This tutorial explains the requirements and recommendations for the QA for LiDAR software that users should be aware of before embarking on QA. The requirements to use QA for LiDAR are: users must have at least an ArcGIS 10.1 or 10.2 basic license with the 3D Analyst and Spatial Analyst extensions. Every partial data delivery must be integrated into the one overall project directory, overriding superseded data. The project extent shapefile should be a single polygon, which can be multi-path. The tile index must accurately represent the data, i.e. for every tile of data there needs to be a polygon in the tile index. Survey control data should consist of ground control and fundamental vertical accuracy checkpoints, which must be supplied to QA for LiDAR as two separate shapefiles. Users can also supply supplemental vertical accuracy checkpoints as a third file if available. The project extent, tile index, and control data shapefiles must all have the same coordinate system definition as identified in ArcMap layer properties for control checks to work. If the NEDF naming convention is not used, key term rules listed in the user guide must be used in file naming, otherwise QA for LiDAR will be unable to identify data. File naming of tiled datasets must match one of the tile name search rules in the user guide for QA for LiDAR to identify tiled datasets. The output folder selected must have sufficient available disk space. The DEM mosaic requires about 1/20th the size of the DEM dataset, while other outputs require a relatively small amount of space. The output folder must also be located outside the project folder, and as it is shared between users, if there will be multiple users of the project, it should be located on a network drive so everyone can access it. If there will only be a single user for the project, the output folder should be located on the local machine or a USB 3 connected external disk for increased speed. The working directory selected must have at minimum the size of the classified AHD LAS dataset in available disk space. It must be located outside the project folder and separate to the output folder. And as it is user specific, it should be located on the local machine or USB 3 connected external disk for increased speed. The recommendations for using QA for LiDAR are: the QA for LiDAR tender and report forms are not required, but they are recommended. The recommended naming convention is NEDF. If processing data from and/or to external disk, a USB 3 connection is highly recommended. If attempting over USB 2 or a network connection, processing will be extremely slow. Otherwise, data should be processed to from the local machine. Project files should not be open in other software. Shapefile names should not contain spaces. And the use of long folder path names for project data, the output folder, and the working directory should be avoided. Otherwise, files may not be able to be written successfully, ideally less than 256 characters. Thank you for listening to this tutorial. For more tutorials, please visit the QA for LiDAR YouTube channel.